LSU lost a big commitment from one of its top prospects, when Scotlandville's Kelvin Joseph decided to rescind his verbal pledge to the Tigers. The decision leaves LSU with one verbal pledge from a defensive back in Evangels Ardarius Washington for the 2018 recruiting class. LSU recently lost a pledge from longtime Florida commitment Nadab Joseph, leaving them in unfamiliar territory, as they struggle to lock up an elite class of defensive backs. The reasoning: Joseph has long struggled with balancing his verbal pledge to LSU and his desire to still be recruited and visit other programs. This struggle was exacerbated in recent days when Joseph tried to schedule official visits with many of the programs that intrigue him, and those programs electing to hold off while he remained verbally committed to LSU. Despite being tabbed as a premier prospect early in his career, Joseph's recruitment failed to match his ability, with many schools reluctant to invest much time in recruiting Joseph, who in turn viewed his early commitment to LSU as the hindrance. The Tigers staff was diligent in retaining his pledge throughout the difficulties, but recent developments and the limited time to make his move created the angst to do it right now. Impact on the recruiting board: Kelvin Joseph was being projected as a safety that could also give some snaps at the nickel position. He was likely going to be the only safety in the LSU class, who was prepared to take a smaller contingent of defensive backs than normal this cycle. The Tigers signed 2 safeties in 2017, but Jacoby Stevens recently switched to receiver, leaving them with only one prospect from the 2017 class at the position in Grant Delpit. The Tigers are returning Eric Monroe next fall, who has been the recipient of positive behind-the-scenes talk of late, and could receive a medical red shirt for senior Ed Paris. John Battle could also return, giving the Tigers solid depth at the position. If LSU is not able to get Joseph back into the fold, I am not convinced they would try to sign another safety in this class. 2019 is shaping up to be another strong year for defensive backs, and as long as Corey Raymond is on staff, kids are going to line up to play for him. Knowing your competition without question, Alabama remains heavily involved in Joseph's recruitment, but there are other programs that continue to court him, and many of those programs have his attention. Florida, Florida State and Clemson are all programs that could end up receiving an official visit from Joseph in coming weeks. Florida State could be in the best position of the schools to make a move on the state's top defensive back. The Seminoles were one of the programs telling Joseph that an official visit would only come with a decommitment from LSU, which influenced his decision. Expect them to receive a visit in the near future. Clemson is a school that intrigues Joseph, who is looking at locking in an official visit with the program on November 11. The defending national champs are the dark horse candidate to watch here, with Florida being the other school that has its foot in the door. In the end, LSU remains in the best position to land Joseph. His connection with defensive backs coach Corey Raymond is unrivaled, and the bond he developed with his hometown area and team may be too much for another program to overcome.